So anyway, the topic is on the screen, and I'm going to focus a little bit on the word trance let's see, because trance, pan, there's some similarities there. And some of you know I'm based at the University of Texas at El Paso, which is right on the US-Mexico border. I see my friend Dava Penjor is here, whom I had the pleasure of teaching. I see we have Himlal Pandey, he's here. He's a University of Texas, El Paso graduate. And Dr. Han Hong took a decision many years ago to come spend almost a year with us at the university. So it's really nice in some ways to evoke these memories. Some of you know that I like to tell stories. I don't have anything profound to say, but if there is any profundity that would lie with you in terms of how you grasp some of these stories. And why stories? Because as a communication scholar, I believe that stories take us to places that we've not been physically. How come we have 150 buildings which are designed like Bhutanese warrior monasteries? That's another story. But what you see beyond the buildings is the city of Ciudad Juarez in Mexico. So we are looking at a picture of a border area, like we talk about Pan-Himalaya. You are looking at Pan-America in some ways. And 3,000 of our students, 26,000, cross the border every single day with their passports in their hand and then go back to spend the evening at their home. And this is out of 24,000 students. So it's a good chunk of our student population. If you have the papers, you can cross the bridges. If you don't have the papers, then what do you have? You have the wall. And in this day and age, with a certain president that we have in the White House, with issues of immigration at the fore, the border is a very contentious place. It's a place of deep division, separation. However, in this, let's call it a quagmire of separation and division, there's something that's happening that's trying to dismantle the wall symbolically, communicatively. And let's see if you can figure out what's happening here. So, as a little child, my mother must have put me on a seesaw. Yeah, you know seesaws? Teeter-totters, some people call them, in the US. So some creative, communicative people have created seesaws which use the border wall as the fulcrum. And this becomes a meeting place to dismantle the wall symbolically. So where there is separation, now there is connection. Where there is division, now there is a sense of togetherness. The border also separates families, yeah? So there may be families, some of whom have migrated to one side, and the others are on the other side. And so it has become a meeting place for families. No, it's like, okay, on a Saturday morning at 9 a.m., you be at the other end and I'll be at the other end. So this is what I mean by stories. The power of stories, stories put into practice to create the conditions for new realities to happen. Does that sort of make sense? Yeah? Okay. So what's happening at the US-Mexico border? I'm going to translate that idea to something that perhaps some of you already know about. How many of you know about this character? Raise your hand up. Quite okay. That you can look around. This is Meena. And Meena is a fictional character. She's a cartoon character. And in 1990, UNICEF, I was involved in some of the early work. They decided that they would create a transcultural character, a cartoon character by the name of Meena. Now, Meena is a name which is very common, no matter whether you're in Pakistan or whether you're in India or in Bhutan or whether you're in Bangladesh. So you get the idea. And she looks like a transcultural South Asian character. What we don't know, or perhaps you don't know, is that there were 10,000 children and parents who were consulted, and there were 16 iterations when Meena was born. Yeah? And Meena had to stand up for the rights of the girl child. And she does that how? She does that with Mittu, the parrot, her companion. And she does that with her brother Raju, and of course she has parents. And through a series of films, television programs, radio programs, comic books, in the entire South Asian region, Meena, as we all know, is a household name. But what is most interesting about Meena is not the mediated storylines. What is most interesting about Meena is that the aspiration is for every young girl, whether it's in our Pan-Himalayan region, Bhutan or India or Nepal or Sri Lanka, to be aspiring to be a Meena, because Meena stands for righteousness. The wonderful thing about Meena, communicatively, is that she's a character that doesn't age. You know, so if we ask the question, how old is Donald Duck? Donald Duck doesn't age.